Welcome to the Dojotalkpodcast. Please remove them shoes before entry.
Sam Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Look into the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei. We're on episode number 89. I'm joined once again with my co-host, the Anti-Cool. What's going on, man?
Oh my god. Bruh, it has been a tough week for the light-skinned delegation.
Yeah, a lot has happened since the last time we recorded. I don't even know where to start. So I mean, I guess we can start with that.
I don't like Drake musically. Like, I don't know anything about him as like a person. It always seemed kind of cheesy to me. But like it's like him and J. Cole when it comes to Let's Get Brothers in hip hop right now. And woof.
Yeah, it's getting real.
I read the lyrics the son of added on to my boss today because she's a Drake fan. She's like 30. But her face when I read the not even like the part where like he's like OVO hunched over like he's 80.
Yeah.
Like it's just the part where like how you will win said Shiki coming in last place. Like her face went like all
His dad wearing Steve Harvey outfits.
A suit. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was I didn't think it was gonna. You know what? I can't see it. I don't know. I listened to Daytona when that came out, which is a pretty good album or EP, whatever you want to call it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a Pusha T fan. I like my quality drug dealer rap, and I got that from that album.
We don't got a lot of those anymore, man. Everybody's doing the drugs.
Right.
they forgot about the art of selling.
Right. So he gave me that, and I was pretty pleased with what I got. And then Drake did the Duppy, and I thought it was actually pretty good. Like, and it made me mad because I was like, why doesn't Drake rap like this, like all the time?
Because that's not what the Instagram baddies want.
That is true.
They want quotables. So like when they're taking their ass photos, they can be up in their feelings in the caption and seem deep.
Right. But I think Drake thought he had a haymaker with Duffy, and Pusha T he ducked the haymaker, and he came back with an uppercut, a jab, 3 more jabs. It story of Adidon, or however you say it. Yeah.
So like, there is never in like the history of like hip hop's very short history where the guy when it comes to like being on top of popularity and stuff has probably had as much dirt on them as like Drake does. Because Drake is, I don't want to say faker than like those dudes, but like
he's Mr. Clean.
Yeah, like he occasionally raps about like don't make him catch a body, but like no one takes him seriously.
Right.
But like dude, like I don't even know like how like a song like this about 50 Cent would never work. A song like this about like Biggie or Tupac or Jay-Z would never work. Like Oh my god.
I think what's hurting him is his silence. Because my first thought when I heard the diss, I was like, all right, this is pretty net. Like, this is really personal. But I was like, well, what if none of this is really true? Like, what if your source just kind of lied to you and we find out that none of this is really real?
Well, apparently his source is A$AP Rocky.
Yeah. And then you find out his sources seem pretty legit. And Drake's been awfully quiet over there. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, silence kind of means like good amount of that must have been true to some degree.
You know, it wouldn't be that bad if Drake never made back-to-back where he admonished poor Meek Mill for not dropping a diss like 48 hours after he dropped his first one. And I'm not even like convinced that wasn't calculated. Like Meek was out on tour or something and like just couldn't get to the studio because he had shows and like media to do. And Drake knew that. And it was just like, you know what, I'm gonna hit him while he's like busy.
Yeah. And yeah, this was
like he went after his character as a man.
I thought it was funny. I feel like for a lot of people this is their first time ever seeing a rap beef. Like people were surprised that it was so disrespectful, but I'm like, this is kind of what's supposed to happen. Like, I didn't think it was going to go to this level, but...
Like, has it ever gotten to, like, beef, like, Gucci Man talking about how he fucking murdered Young Jeezy's friend?
Right.
Like, that's the only time I can think of where it got more personal.
I don't know. Jay-Z said he skeeted in Nas's baby seats. That's pretty...
Dude,
whether or not that's true...
Who cares? That's my response. Like,
that's still pretty disrespectful, though.
It's disrespectful, but you know what? This is hip hop.
Yeah.
Everybody's a groupie.
Yeah.
Jay-Z got more money than he know what to do. Like, what do we expect? Like, but like this wasn't even like that. This was go pick up your son. Don't be like your dad.
Right.
Don't
What was funny about this is like I don't even think like sonically it was all that great, but it was just like what he was saying was just like it was like I'm sitting down with somebody. I'm like, I need to tell you about yourself real quick. Like he delivered the line so simple.
Right,
like,
as a black man.
Right. And the way he said, he was like, "You are hiding a child." He said it so, like, you are hiding a child.
Enunciation.
Right.
Everything.
I could imagine him saying that. He's like pointing at his chest, like, you are hiding a child. Yeah, Drake. It's not. It's I was thinking earlier, like, if you're Drake, do you respond to this?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think you do. I think
you're like, you just text Pusha, you won.
Right.
Better yet, phone call. It's like, you know what? It's over. You won. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because unless you got.
Because let's be real. Like, your average Drake fan probably didn't even know this happened. Because your average Drake fan doesn't listen to, like, Drake's entire album. Your average Drake fan listens to, like, freaking, like, God's Plan and Hotline Bling and never gets around to listening to, like, crap, what was another song? Like, what's a song off of Views? Like, 9 or something.
Wow. You guys are in for a rude awakening. And yeah, I don't think Drake can respond because you can't out-rap him. You're not gonna bar him up. That's just not gonna happen.
Well, you just can't like out freaking like Pusha T. Like what dirt does Drake have on Pusha T?
Yeah, so I'm like, unless you got some sources that have like some super dirt on him, and and it can't just be like you have to have something major. Unless you got something major, you gotta take the L. You gotta let this one go.
Like I don't know who's writing what over OVO or whatever, but like Drake has just like been pacing the floor waiting for somebody to come up with something.
That should have been an emergency team meeting. Like,
dude, he talked about his dying friend.
that I cringed at that line, but at the same time, I was like, "Ugh, that was so nasty." Like, you don't, of course, you don't want to make fun of the dude. I felt bad for him because it's like he has nothing to do with this beef at all. Like, and he just became like the meanest punchline in the whole thing.
I mean, my response to that is Drake brought Kanye into this.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I read something earlier, some headline that said Kanye's trying to dead the beef between them.
I mean, Kanye ain't doing that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just know I'm gonna review Push's album, and I'll definitely go into this beef more into detail when I get around to that. But yeah, if this beef ends today, and we're assuming Drake doesn't say anything else, that's an L, my friend. That is an L.
But it's an L he can survive because it's not like this came from like Kanye or Kendrick Lamar or something.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing Drake has going for him, that he's such a big star that this people will probably, I ain't gonna say forget about it, but if his what's that album, Scorpion, that's still a terrible album name, but if Scorpion delivers, I think all of this goes away. Like, I don't think anybody.
Scorpion really sounds like a fucking like Spanish music album.
Oh, if he got some hits on that, he'll be fine. And most,
and he already does. He got the album already platinum.
Yeah, and most of his fans, I don't think are from, because I feel like the older hip hop heads or people who've been listening to hip hop for a longer time, I think we get more excited about diss records than like the younger generation. I don't think they really care for it too much. So I feel like for them, like it doesn't really.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, but I think the people who are Drake fans in the younger generation, like they don't care for beef.
Yeah, because all they're gonna fall back on is Drake sells records, he makes money. What's Pusha doing?
Well, so far it's been Pusha T took it too far.
Right. So I'm like, I don't think they really look at it the same way we do. So Drake will be, as long as Drake doesn't respond, I think he'll make it worse if he tries to fight back.
But you know he's going to, because he beat Meek.
But
because there's nobody around him who's going to say, just stop while you're ahead.
He's got to know this is a different beast, though.
See, I don't think he does. I don't think Drake has like self-awareness. Otherwise, he wouldn't be making like half the music he does.
I don't know. I got to give him more credit than that. I think he's a really smart dude. Now, I don't know if like ego would play a role to where you think like, oh, he really checked me and now I got to fight back. But this is one of those instances where you got to pick your battles, and this one you got to let this one go.
Like, literally, the only thing you can do is fight Pusha T.
Right. Right.
Literally, fight Pusha T.
Yeah, if you're not about to pull up, you got to let this one go.
He got like 10 plus years on him.
He does.
I know Pusha T looks like he's like 20 something, but that man is 41.
That's crazy. He still looks the exact same. I don't even think his cornrows grew. But yeah,
but
yeah.
One last thing though, my hope is so instead of just like turning into the feud, my hope is Drake just takes it the complete other way, just falls back on his soft boy image. What was the tweet? What was that tweet where like he just makes a song about how Pusha T hurt his feelings? The dude came up with bars and everything. Oh, it was like, he dug up my blackface photos that left scars. I guess the T and Pusha T took it too far.
I mean, if anybody can do it, it's Drake.
I mean, that'll get him sympathy.
Yeah, man. If anybody
just cry on track, bro.
It'll work. He has the luxury that I think he's like the only artist that can get away with something like that. Like anybody else would get murdered. If Drake does it, it's like, it's, it's Drake. He's doing Drake stuff.
He makes money. We can't.
Right.
But Pusha T's phone is just lighting up with like everybody just being like, "I'm so happy you did this." Because nobody likes Drake. Let's be real. Like none of the DJs, like none of these women seem to like Drake. Like Rihanna doesn't want to be friends with him anymore.
That's kind of true.
He dates all these women, but like you could tell, like by the time the relations are over, like they're over him.
Yeah. I don't even want that'd be a whole nother topic. I remember the first time I heard Hotline Bling and I like actually listened to it. I was like, you sound like that guy who texts your girlfriend 30 times in a row when she's not responding and you don't know when to like you don't know when to leave her alone.
Dude, like the song on the album where he's like arguing about like, oh, she wants to take my car to go to CVS to get tampons, and we keep getting into fights at the Cheesecake Factory. Like, come the.
The Cheesecake Factory. Oh man.
He's like, this is a place for people who take their families and watch Disney.
Oh man. Yeah, Drake is a.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
He does. You know what, Aubrey? You'll be fine, Aubrey. Just
I mean, he has $1 billion already. If Baby hasn't stolen all his money. Like,
right. You'll be fine. You'll survive this. But I hope you learned a valuable lesson.
Just go straight R&B from now.
Yeah.
Just forget you ever rapped.
Right. But yeah, I'll dig into that beef when I get around to that album review, which hopefully I'll do sometime soon. But real quick before we get started, I guess we did get started, but gotta get the plugs off. As always, the show can be listened to on SoundCloud, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate, subscribe, leave a review, send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. And you can hit us up on Facebook at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page, and you can follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei. And also, real quick, shout outs to the top cities, top 5 this week. So coming in at number 1, we got Mountain View, California. Coming in at number 2, we got Baltimore, Maryland. Shout outs to the home team. Number 3, Portland, Oregon. Number 4, North Bergen, New Jersey. And number 5, Santa Clara, California. And quick shout outs to number 6, Lucknow, India. So shout outs to
International.
Yeah, we out here.
Oh, shouts to 070 Shake, who I'm assuming is the North Bergen look.
There we go. Spread it to all your friends. I don't know who's in Baltimore. Who's this for? If you're in Baltimore and you're listening to this, you should definitely comment and stuff. But shout outs to you guys. Appreciate all the listens. So yeah, it's been like 2-3 weeks since me and you have recorded.
A lot has happened, personally and in the fight game.
Indeed. Since then, I've turned 29 years old.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you. That was actually the reason why I didn't record. I'll just be honest with you guys. I wanted to enjoy my 3-day weekend. So yeah, I turned 29. What else has happened since then? Black Thought put out an EP.
It's great.
It is. It's very good. Han Solo movie came out, which I did not watch, and I'm probably not gonna watch. But that's the thing now. There's been a lot going on. So, well, I guess before we get into that, because we do have news and things to go through. So, I will run through my news that I have written down, and then I'll let you run through yours, because I know you got a few that I don't. Excuse me. Try not to burp, but I literally just ate before we started recording. But, so quick news and notes, nuggets that I probably won't get to dive too deep into, because we got a lot to cover today. But, for anybody that cares, Michael Venom Page will be making his sophomore boxing debut in England on June 15th. I don't know his opponent. I didn't look into it because I didn't really care too much. But for anybody else out there that cares, that's the thing. Yair Rodriguez is back in the UFC. This one we will dive into. Actually, you know what? I'll save that one. Michael Bisping being officially retired. I'll definitely revisit this in shout outs. But he has officially retired. He's not doing a farewell fight anymore. As far as fight announcements, Alan Jouban and Danny Roberts at UFC Fight Night 134. Also on that same card, Emil Meek versus Bartosz Fabinski. At UFC 226, we got Lando Venata and Drake are close. I always say that wrong. At UFC 225, Charles Oliveira and Clay Guida. Also on UFC 226, I forgot to mention Gilbert Burns versus Dan Hooker. And for Ryzen 11, we have a rematch of Reina Kubota and Kana Asakura. And the last note I have is the Nick Diaz alleged domestic, I guess, battery incident thing that I didn't really read into. But yeah, that happened.
Hell over 2 weeks, huh?
Right.
Well, we'll get to them eventually, but also what happened those 2 weeks. Dojo Talk Podcast interviewee Jose Shorty Torres got signed and fought in the UFC.
Yes, sir.
So, spoiler: DTP interviewees are now 1-0, batting 100, batting 1,000 in the UFC. So
definitely batting 1,000 with the way that fight ended.
yeah. So props. Let's see. So also big news: 2019, UFC will be exclusively on ESPN, on both ESPN the TV channel and ESPN Plus. They're going to be doing 42 cards. Well, I can't even say exclusively because I think it came out that they said they were going to do 5 to 6 Fight Pass cards. So we're going to have almost 50 cards next year. But back on the ESPN tip, they'll be doing 42 cards on ESPN. 10 proper ESPN shows, as in an FS1 fight night, 20 on ESPN Plus, and they're going to have 12 pay-per-view prelims on ESPN television. Deal is $300 million a year over 5 years, so it's $1.5 billion. It's worth noting that Fox, instead of signing the UFC, signed on SmackDown for $200 million a year, as well as professional bowling, which is getting the exact same schedule as the UFC, meaning they're getting 26 shows on FS1 and 4 on Fox.
26 bowling shows?
Yes.
That's something different.
So, if you work out the math on these ESPN Plus and this ESPN deal, I think it comes out to something like $7 million a card a year. So, now might be a good time to unionize.
Yeah, because it's gonna be a lot of bags getting thrown around, and y'all might want to get into one of those bags before it's too late.
Right. Well, we actually have a few questions, but that will bring. I just want to mention them now so people know that we're going to bring them up later.
Oh yeah. We can close out with those.
Yeah.
We can close out with those. I guess real quick, let's dig back into the Yair versus the Beat. So apparently Sean Shelby is the peacemaker in all of this. I guess he and Yair had a heart-to-heart or something of the sort. So now Yair, his suspension was rescinded, and he's going against the Beat at UFC 228. I'm pretty sure on this podcast, we've mentioned this matchup before, and I'm pretty sure I said that Yair might not want that smoke.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's hard to say because Yair's been away for a while now, and not, I would assume he's been training. I don't think he's just been sitting around doing nothing. But I don't know what we're gonna get when he comes back. Like, I'm not sure. Are we gonna see more of the same, or are we gonna get some really vast improvements?
Is it weird that like Mexico, like Mexican born, like their first two big like MMA prospects, and neither one of them knows how to fucking box? Like, Brandon Moreno's cousin was an Olympic bronze medalist boxer. If I'm getting them right, that might have actually been Yair. Actually, I think it was Yair. Yeah. So it's nice to know that Sean Shelby has taken over Joe Silva's role as like Dana White's said something stupid. We gotta go fix this situation,
All right.
dude. Like they did the same thing to Misha Serkinov. Like at this point, like the UFC can't afford to let anybody go. Like everybody's interchangeable, but they need all the pieces to make it work. You feel me?
Right.
Because like it's not just a thing about Yair's like potentially like Mexico's like big breakout star that they can use to get into the Mexican market, eventually turn them into pay-per-view draw. It's that they're running 50 something shows in 2019. Like they need all hands on deck.
Yeah, that's a lot of bodies.
Right. And like while Yair is I think that Yair said he was asking for more money to take the Zabit fight. Like, I'm assuming what ended up happening is like they brought him back in for like a slight increase, not what he was asking for. Yeah, like I don't I don't think it's a good matchup for him, personally. But how dumb is it to say in the middle of a trial to see if your company's like a monopsony or whatever that word is? Is it for Dana White to come out and say, "You better take the fucking fight I want you to take"? But I'm assuming this comes from a place of frustration in the fact that there are probably a whole bunch of fighters just turning down fights left and right now.
Yeah.
And a large part of that is, I'm going to go ahead and assume frustration on the fighters' part, where they're not getting the matchups they want. This isn't like I said this at the time. I'm repeating it now. Like, this isn't like 2010 or whatever, where like the UFC fighters are like, we're all in this together, but like, this is our sport. We gotta help it grow. We love doing this. We've been doing this since before there was money in it. Like, the UFC is a small outfit that's just getting started. Like, this is after the UFC sold for $4 million and signed a first $100 million deal, now a $300 million TV deal a year. Like, these guys know that, like, they might not unionize, but they know there's big money at the end of the tunnel if they can fucking find their way to the top.
Right.
So, like, of course they're going to be more careful with the match selection, especially if they're not getting that big of a freaking cut in the first place.
So I said, like, we mentioned it, I can't remember what podcast it was, but I think athletes nowadays, it's not just MMA, it's in all sports. Like, dudes are looking out for themselves. They're realizing that these big corporations, whatever league you may be in, whether you play basketball, football, whatever it is, they're not out here to look out for you. Like,
of course not. They're big corporations. There's always going to be somebody next up to replace you.
Right. You're very unless you're in that top like 1%,
and even
you're very disposable. And even then you're not completely safe. So it's like, you're disposable. They can get you out of here and they will find someone else to fill your spot. So you need to make the best of your time while you have it, and if that just so happens to include you maybe passing on a few fights to get the one that you want,
The only one that's safe is Conor.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that with each passing outrageous incident.
Yeah. Everybody else is fair game. But I mean, I'm probably gonna pick Sabit to win, but I hope because I really like both of these guys. Like I'm still a big Yair fan. I would hope that even if he does lose, I just want to see some improvements. Like show me a new wrinkle that we didn't see, in your last few outings.
Right.
And just give me something else to look forward to. And I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he could still win this. Like, for all of his flaws, he's still freakishly athletic. He can get off one. It only takes one of those crazy Tekken kicks, and you're out of here if you're not careful. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could win this fight. I just think the beat might be in his face a bit too much for him to get anything off. But either way, I think it'll be a fun fight. We're probably going to see a lot of crazy techniques, and no matter who wins, I think we'll be entertained. So,
right.
I'm glad he's back. If anything else, I'm glad he's, they squared it all up. They squared it all out. He's back in. So I think we all win with that. So best of luck to Yair. That's going to be an awesome fight to look forward to. So I guess with that being said, a couple of cards have passed by since we last recorded. We can't go into them all into detail thoroughly. So we'll just tackle some main.
That's in part because we don't remember most of it.
That is true.
But, I'll tell you what, though. I remember this. I remember the UK card from last week way better than I remember the one I watched last night.
So, you want to start with Bellator 200 or the Thompson and Till?
Let's start with Bellator 200 because I only saw one fight from that card, but I feel fully prepared to talk about it. All
right. So, Bellator 200, this took place way back. I say way back. It wasn't that long ago, but May 25th. Headlined by Gegard Mousasi and Rafael Carvalho. I put myself out there on Twitter and said Carvalho would get the upset. That definitely did not happen. Gegard mauled and he did Gegard things. He did what Gegard does, what people expected him to do. He got Carvalho out of there pretty quick. Once that fight went to the ground, it was pretty clear the direction that fight was going to go in. So yeah, is this the fight you remember?
Yes. And all I remember is Gegard being on top of Carvalho, pounding the crap out of him. So.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty much that was pretty much the fight.
Right. Yeah. More interesting detail. Coker said as soon as they get back to he gets back to the States, he's working on getting Gegard Mousasi versus Roy McDonald made. How do you feel about that?
I'm gonna go out on another limb. I think Gegard wins. Not only do I think Gegard wins, I don't think it's close.
Yeah, probably not.
I think Gegard mauls him. And it pains me to say that because if this were like a couple years ago, I might have been singing a different tune. But Roy to me just looks really worn out. Like I think these last couple wars he's been in have taken a toll on him. And I don't think he's that same guy that, was getting in the wars with, Robbie Lawler and, everybody else that he got in a scrap with. So, but either way, though, that's a big fight for Bellator, at least on paper. They'll be able to draw a lot of interest. And I think for a while it lasts, it'll be entertaining. But I think once Roy catches one punch in that nose, I think it might be over.
I think it's worth. Noting while we're here at the main event, this card peaked at like 806,000 people.
Yeah, I did see that.
I'm not sure how like good or bad that is. Mostly because I'm not sure if that's like with the that is with the +3, so it wasn't even that high. So.
But we'll see. I'm pretty sure they'll get that fight done. That's a big fight for them. So, I mean, props to Gegard, though. Dude left the UFC, still one of the elite middleweights in the world, and further proving it. So, shout outs to Gegard. He's got some gold around his waist. And I'm not sure if Roy doesn't do it, I don't know who else in Bellator is about to take that strap from him. unless he and Shlemenko run it back. They had a pretty good fight the first out. I think Shlemenko definitely gave him some problems, but, you know, I don't know. Musasi's probably going to hold that belt for a while.
Right.
I won't go into too much detail about the rest of these fights, but Michael Venom Page made David Rickles quit 43 seconds into round 2. He basically styled on him, punched him in his eye. His eye, like, exploded, and Rickles waved the fight off himself. So that happened. And my only other comment on that fight is, if for anything, re-sign Paul Daly for one fight. We have to get the MVP Paul Daly.
He has like 3 fights left on his contract.
Who, Daly?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought the Fitch was his last one for some reason.
Because Daly was trying to make it his last one.
No. Well, either way, like, that fight has to happen now. Like, I don't care that Daly's coming off a loss. This is a fight that people have been wanting to see for a long time. Let's just do this, wipe our hands, and we can be done with it. You know, let's just get it over with. But nonetheless, shout outs to MVP. Another MVP-ish performance.
Yeah, if they gave him a lightweight who moved up.
It is what it is. Aaron Chalmers choked out Ash Griffith. Mike Shipman put the pause on Carl Noon in 10 seconds, got him out of here. Kate Jackson spoiled the Anastasia Yankova hype train. Got a decision on her. And Phil Davis won by head kick. Of all things, Phil Davis can win by. Head kick Linton Fussell into another planet in round 3. And what was one of Phil Davis's probably more entertaining fights that I've seen in his last, like, 5. So, shout outs to Phil Davis, getting head kicks.
Davis is, like, entertaining to watch fight lower ranked fighters. He's like King Mo. It's just that, like, when he fights guys like King Mo or Ryan Bader,
yeah,
it's not.
It ain't so pretty.
Yeah.
But they had a nice back and forth. So, I mean, props to Fussell too. I like Fussell as a fighter. I feel like he has a nice skill set, but it's just never all quite put together somehow. But either way, props to Phil Davis. Pretty nice KO. I used to make fun of his head kicks a lot. They're really weird to watch.
Nah, come on.
But he
I
landed.
just remember my friends coming back.
Go Phil Davis. I guess we'll move on to Wonderboy and Till. Like you said, the 98% of this card I do not remember. But we can just stick with the main event and I guess the co-main.
Oh, and
if anything else comes back to me, I'll remember. Darren Till, Stephen Thompson. Where do I start? I guess as far as the decision, I thought Wonderboy won the fight. I don't know what judge scored it 49-46. I thought that was kind of wild. I'm not sure what fight they were watching, but this is one of those fights where, like, even though I thought Wonderboy won, when they announced that he lost, Wonderboy sometimes doesn't do himself any favors. Like, I don't know.
Like 99% of the time.
Yeah, it's funny because I was at work earlier. I was at today or yesterday, and I was re-listening to one of our old podcasts, and it was one of the podcasts where, like, this fight that got announced, and your first quote was that I could easily see this fight being 5 rounds of them just staring at each other, and it's kind of what we got. Like, definitely the entire fight was a feeling out process. And, you know, and then we had, like, that one explosion. I can't remember if it was the 4th or the 5th where Till dropped Wonderboy. But, like, he didn't put him away or anything. To me, I didn't look up the stats. I didn't even rewatch any of this card after it happened. To me, I thought Wonderboy won just kind of based off volume. To me, he seemed like he was the much busier fighter. The only thing Till I thought had an advantage over was that he pushed the pace, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. The fight wasn't really much to write home about. But to me, the story of this fight wasn't really the fight itself. It was kind of everything surrounding it. I posed this question on Twitter the other day. Is there really a punishment for missing weight? I mean, I get it. They take, 20 or 30% of your purse.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that definitely adds up. And especially in, it's not like these fighters are millionaires. It's not like the NBA or NFL or anything. Dudes aren't out here. Not everybody's getting like a 6-figure or 7-figure salary. So 30% definitely adds up. But it's like, all right, you lose 30%, but the next day you're still the number 2 ranked welterweight in the world, which is probably going to set you up for a pretty big fight, which would probably be a pretty good money fight. So it's like, is there really a punishment? Like, are you really... Like, I get the money thing, but are you really losing out on much? Because it seems like you still kind of get rewarded for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just not money-wise, but you're still moving up the ladder.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair question. I don't got an answer. Like, I mean, the answer is no. But there's no punishment really. Like Darren Till's a big ass dude. Like he easily could be fighting at like 185. Like I don't think he's any smaller than Darren Till. I'm not Darren Till. Fucking Tom Breeze.
All right.
But I don't like, other than cancel the fight and just make everybody upset. I don't know what you do. Like, do you do like what they do in Japan and you, like, if you win, like, you just don't get the win on your record, but we all know you won. You know what I mean?
Right. Somebody, well, I guess a few people proposed this. Like, you can keep the fight and you can win, but like you're not allowed to move in the rankings. Like, you need to stay exactly where you're at. You can't go up. Well, obviously you can't go down because you won the fight, so that would make sense. But you just need to freeze in the rankings, and that I would agree with that. But then at the same time, it's like, do rankings even matter?
They don't.
So it's
we've had this conversation before about the people who do the rankings.
Yeah.
Because way back when they wanted to do the Reebok deal and have the people, like the journalists, do the rankings, none of the serious journalists would do it. Like, dude, look at I'm looking at the list of people who are on the voting panel has shrunken by a lot. Like, and none of these dudes are at like the big like MMA sites. Like, MMA Weekly's on here, Wrestling Observer's on here, MMA Oddsbreakers on here. A couple of dudes from like Fight Network are on here, but like one is Bersprack, Sweden. One is a dude with a radio show, Steve Jeffrey, Vlad U Sport, Kahan Honolulu. Like, the only name on here I recognize is Andreas Hale. Oh, and Ken Pishna. Like, there's nobody from like MMA Fighting, nobody from ESPN, nobody from Bloody Elbow, like nobody from MMA Junkie. Like, they're all just dudes. And again, like way back when they wanted to do the Reebok deal, like their initial idea was, hey, let's have all these let's do it by the rankings. Like, if you're in this range, you get like an extra $5,000. But then it came, like, the big pushback was, well then my guy will just get, then they'll start bribing journalists so that their guy can get like a bigger cut. Like, it's just a mess.
Yeah. Like, rankings.
I mean, Dominic Cruz hasn't fought in like 2 years and he's still ranked.
I was gonna say, like, rankings could work if they were just like actually taken seriously.
Dude,
because I've seen people say like they don't think this. like the sport can handle it. I don't think that's entirely true. I just think you just need competent people who like actually put some kind of thought into like how these rankings work, and there needs to be some kind of punishment for people who either like you don't make weight or anybody who like if you're just inactive for this insane period of time that you should bounce down a spot or something.
Like boxing, the media on boxing, like there's a journalistic institution like structure where they come together and they do the rankings for like each division, and it's called like the Transnational Boxing Rankings, and it's completely independent from any body. It's completely independent of any promotion, athletic commission, all that good stuff. It's just like, who do we think are let's get a bunch of journalists who follow the sport and put out stuff regularly, and let's get them together and like rank the dudes outside of like the purview of anybody else's oversight. And it's pretty good. Like, it's not obviously, no matter what you do, there's always going to be, oversights, debate, like controversy and stuff like that, because this is all subjective. But like, they're for the most part, they are respectable. I don't know if MMA there's a way to do that in MMA. There's no way to do it that the UFC would implement it and like care, because they have. But you'd think they would, because like Stephen Tom, like Wonderboy's biggest gripe in turning down like every fight that he got when it came to like Darren Till and Kamaru Usman was like, they're so below me in the rankings. Like, why would I want to fight them? Like, if we had an independent tribunal of journalists who actually follow the damn sport, as opposed to just, voting for the dude who comes from their country, we might actually have like a decent ranking system, but that's not what we have.
Yeah, we got. I don't know what it is. We have shenanigans. That's what it is. But that's kind of crazy, because even Till himself said like he doesn't believe he deserves a title shot. But I don't know how it all really gonna play out. But,
I'm looking at this one dude's rankings. What's his name? Romain Cadat from Vladu Sport, whatever. And like, it's not bad from what I'm just glossing over it, but like, I'm looking at the middleweight rankings, and he doesn't have anybody ranked at number 8. It's just a blank spot.
He couldn't think of a tough dad.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it, nobody gets the spot. Tavares, you're good enough for 9, but you're not good enough for 8. So.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't really have much else to add to that fight. But I mean, I guess whatever. Props to Till. He got the win. Regardless of whether or not I thought he won or not.
I mean,
I could look at the fight differently if I rewatch it, but I just gone back to rewatch it.
Why would you?
Yeah, I was not motivated to go back and watch this fight.
You gotta love yourself, Sensei. Like, don't put yourself through that. Like, my only takeaway from the fight is like, what happened to Wonderboy, where he is just.
He was starching people,
like,
man.
Not even that. It's just like, in a division where we ask guys to just show us more, and like that's been the main gripe since Robbie Lawler lost the title. Tyron Woodley, like, he's this dude who can hit with the power of like a 16-wheeler, but we get these like bad performances or boring fights with like Wonderboy and Maya. Kamaru Usman talking about he only used 30% of his skill set to fight Emil Meek. Guys like Jorge Masvidal, whose whole career has been, if this dude's so talented, why isn't he just doing more? Like Covington gets that a little bit. Like, why isn't he doing more? Danyun Kim, another dude who his career has just been like he's really dull to watch. Like somehow in a division with all those characters, Wonderboy just swoops in and just like it is the dude who's just performing way below what we know he's capable of.
Yeah.
Because this dude has the deepest striking arsenal in like maybe in MMA at this point, and his whole game is just I'm going to just slightly outstrike my opponent. Like I'm talking like single digits.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I was listening to the Heavy Hands podcast, and they theorized that Wonder Boy might be so averse to like extended exchanges and like getting caught in the chin because like he just took a bad punch in like training and just like realized he couldn't take that punch anymore. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, especially for a guy who's been like doing this since he was a kid. But like, I don't get why he's so reluctant to pull the trigger.
Yeah, because like most of those dudes. I mean, I get it with Till can, he's just a big boy.
Well, like even in this fight, like Till wasn't countering.
Yeah.
Anytime Till landed, it was because he was leaving. Like when he would like actually like stop, or when Wonderboy would throw, like dude would just stop. Like there was times where he would just like go back in a straight line and try to duck his head. Like his defense was being tall and long.
Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping this would be one of those fights that would bring something else out of him, but I guess it's just I don't know. Maybe that could be right. Like there might just be some kind of mental block there, because we've seen him starch dudes. We know he can still do it, but yeah, for some reason the trigger's not getting pulled, and in fights like this where neither of you is really doing a whole ton, this is how you can unfortunately end up on the wrong side of a decision.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So that's that fight. The only other mentions on this card, Craig White stepped in on short notice to try to take on Neil Magny. He got kneed and beat up, got sent on out of here. And Neil Magny went on to call out Usman. I'm actually not mad at that fight.
Shouts to Magny, who's donating like $15,000 of his purse to help a little girl in Colorado who has like a rare, it was a brain or it was a muscle disorder.
I can't remember, but yeah, I did see that. So yeah, man, shouts to Magny out here, doing good things. And I hope they do the Usman fight. I like that. I like that fight.
That's a good one.
And like, speaking of rankings, that's one of the fights, like ranking wise, I think does make some kind of sense. I don't have the rankings in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they're only like 2 or 3 spots away from each other. So I hope they do that fight. It seems like they're both willing to, so I don't see any reason not to make that happen. Other mentions of notice on this card real quick. Arnold Allen had a comeback against Mads Burnell with a front choke. I wish I would have went and rewatched this fight, but I didn't. Makwan Amirkhani and Jason Knight fought to a split decision. I guess the one takeaway I can at least have from that fight was I was glad that Jason Knight, just looked a lot better than what we've seen in his last couple outings. Because his last couple fights, I don't know, he just looked a bit off, like something just wasn't really there. But he had a much better showing. Fortunately, the fight didn't go his way, but it was a pretty entertaining fight. It was really hurt that Dan Kelly lost. I was hurt that Dan Kelly got sent out of here. And apparently he said he might retire. I thought I heard.
Oh wow. I figured Dan Kelly would just keep fighting until he was like 70.
Yeah. I'm like, Dan Kelly, don't retire. If you've got one more in you, could come back for one more, man. We need one more.
Just give him the oldest dude in the division that's not him.
Right.
Well, no, that might be Yoel Romero.
the oldest guy not in the top 15. Let y'all screw up. But yeah, Tom Breeze got Kelly out of here. But I hope Dan Kelly comes back for at least one more. And shout out to Carlo Pedersoli, beating Brad Scott, split decision. Pedersoli came over from, oh God, what is that promotion? Jesus Christ. I just watched that fight the other day. He fought
Cage Warriors?
I think it was Cage Warriors. He fought Nicholas Dalby, and they had a really good fight over there, and he stepped up for this. But either way, shout outs to him. That was a pretty dope fight. I'm not really gonna go through the rest of that card because we still got a whole other card to cover.
I will say, just real quick, I'm really happy to see Tom Breeze back. Like, the dude is really good, and now he's up at 185, and he's not dealing with like the energy cut and everything. Like, I'm really excited to see him fight.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, that fight lasted all of a couple minutes, like 3 minutes,
3.5 minutes.
Yeah, he was a man on a mission. So he's definitely back with a vengeance. So that was the Till versus Wonderboy card. Covered Bellator 200. So I guess we will just excuse me. We will move on to the happenings from Friday. So
right off the bat, it's one of the worst I think I've seen in a long time. Like,
you know what's weird? Everybody's saying that, but like when I watched it, I didn't feel that way. Not that I thought it was like great, but to me it was just like it was like another card. But like I didn't. Maybe it's because I didn't watch all of it in real time. Like I watched the prelims the first day, and then
Well, the prelims were the awful part. And then the first fight. Well, I guess we'll get to that, but like, no, like the terrible string of like just dull decisions.
Yeah, all the prelims went to decision.
Freaking the main event, which just broke my heart.
I can't say it broke my heart. Well, you know what? We'll talk about it.
The bad heavyweight fight.
Yeah, all right. So I'll say this. Looking at this card now, like I remember most of these, but there are going to be some of these fights where I'm not going to be able to dig too much of detail into because there wasn't like a ton of substance going on with some of these.
Yeah.
But we'll just start from the top. UFC Fight Night. 131, headlined by Marlon Moraes and Jimmy Rivera. We'll just run this from the top. I was really hyped for this main event. I say this every Marlon Moraes fight. Like, I've been just waiting for him to come to the UFC for so long. He got off to a bit of a rough start. Got a real KO win over Aljamain Sterling. Gets another big fight with Rivera. I'll stick to my guns, and I'm going to say that Moraes is only going to be a future champ. I believe so wholeheartedly. But I did not think this fight was going to end this fast. Like, I envisioned them having some back and forth going on, like maybe at least for a round or two, and then one of them would catch each other. But it did not. It was not a lot of back and forth, like at all. Like, they had a quick feeling out process, flick out a couple of shots. I think Moraes threw like a leg kick, and then the switch kick comes. He catches Rivera right on like the side of the head. Dude eats some ground and pound, and that's it. 33-second slaughter. Moraes is really good, man. Yeah. Like, I feel really validated now in believing that when he came over from World Series of Fighting, like, my thoughts weren't crazy. Like, yo, this dude, it was just hard to say in World Series of Fighting because, like, you want to go by the eye test. And, like, there are just certain things you see and you can just tell a guy is special, but then you have a little bit of doubt because it's like, your competition's good, but I know you're not fighting the best of the best. Well, now he's fighting the best of the best, and, you know, minus the Sun South fight, which was still a really close fight. Like, he's proving he belongs here, and to get Rivera hasn't lost, and has he ever lost?
He lost his second pro fight. It's just that he's won like 20 in a row.
Right. So Rivera just been on a tear, and Moraes ended that tear in 33 seconds.
Right.
Like, dude, Moraes is an animal, man. This guy is dude is crazy talented.
Like again, I'm gonna keep that freaking I'm heartbroken Jimmy lost. I've been watching Jimmy Rivera fight since God. He fought Willie Gates back in like a Bellator prelim. I can't remember what year it is. I want to say it was like 2012. So I've been watching him fight for like a minute. So like to see him finally get here and then like lose like that hurts my heart so much. But like if like my thought process was if Marlon Moraes was going to win this fight, it's going to look exactly the way it did. Just because Jimmy's so freaking short, and Moraes is just so fast with that damn switch kick. Yeah, no, like fantastic performance from Moraes. Like I don't know how he's not the number one contender. For the winner of friggin' Dillashaw and Cody. Sorry, my dog's being weird, and I'm just following her with my eyes. Yeah, no, like. Like I said, I don't know how he's not the number one contender. I guess you could argue a Sun Sal, but I think did he lose to TJ after that fight, or was that before the fight?
Oh, Sunsao and TJ?
Yeah, the rematch.
I want to say before. I think before.
I don't think no, because that was it 200? The bad part about ending your fight though at like 33 seconds is that your rating is probably going to be really bad. just being real. 33 seconds is not a lot of time to build an audience.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so he beat Moraes after losing to TJ. So technically speaking, it should be a Sun Sal.
Okay.
But let's be real, they're never giving a Sun Sal fight. They might never give him another fight. I know he's scheduled to fight like Rob Font, but like if that fight gets canceled,
that's great. That's crazy. Like, there's no diss to Rob Font. He's been doing pretty good as of late, but like that rankings wise, that's a crazy matchup. Like, there's nobody else I could have gave a Sun Sal. Like we dug for Rob Font.
I mean, let's be real. Do you think any of these other top 5 guys want to have a boring fight with Rafael Sun Sal?
I think a Sun Sal is on that. He's on that block where like if they're praying Rob Font somehow pulls this off, and then they're gonna stash a Sun Sal away for a long time. We're not gonna hear from him again.
Man,
but
I wouldn't be mad at Sun Sal Lineker.
I'm not mad at that.
But
be some good violence.
Yeah.
Potentially good violence. But Moraes has to get if not a title shot, you gotta fight a name like a Cruz or.
I am like 90% sure Dominic Cruz is never gonna fight again.
I forgot, what did he injure this time?
He broke his arm last year, right?
Yeah, because I remember it didn't have anything to do with like his knees or but yeah, dude
it was just falling apart. Like it is what it is. He fought for like 10 years. It happens. But yeah, no, like the last time he was scheduled to fight was 2019 in December. He broke his arm. No, like it doesn't say why he's not fighting right now. My only guess is like recovery has not been smooth.
Well, while he's on recovery, dudes like Moraes are out here just They're making that climb up the ladder pretty quickly.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd imagine he's got to be at most one fight away from a title shot if he's not already there. But that was a great win, a really quick win. Always good when you can, end the fight and you don't take any damage. I'm pretty sure Rivera will be back up there though. That's of course a tough loss. I saw people saying they should pair up Rivera and Aljamain since they were both victims of
Oh, they hate each
Moraes
other.
Yeah, that too. That always works. So
Some,
I'm not mad at
yeah,
that.
I'm sure they would love to have a swing on one another.
They should definitely do that. And hopefully, if Aljamain can keep up what he's been doing, the way he's been fighting lately, it could definitely make for an entertaining scrap. So I wouldn't mind them doing that. But Marlon Moraes is here, man. Like he's definitely here.
He's legit.
It's been awesome. Yeah, you can't question it anymore. Dude he's definitely legit. But yeah, not much else to dissect in that main event because it was all of 33 seconds. Next fight, co-main event. Also another gentleman who has a little bit of hype going behind him. Gregor Gillespie and Vince Pichel. My main takeaway from this fight was just Gillespie's pretty unrelenting grappling. Like, he was constantly in Pichel's face. Like, for like the 2 seconds Pichel would try to make it somewhat of a striking match, Gillespie was like, nah, we're not doing that. And just relentlessly took him down, past guard, just really, really active on the ground. And then that last sequence, like once he got mount, you just kind of felt it was over. He sunk in the arm triangle choke, and that was all she wrote. And yeah, Gillespie's another, that division, man, just
Is
killers everywhere.
Yeah, it's just gonna continue to churn out prospects. Dude, Gillespie's another dude I've been watching since like he started. Freaking like I started hearing about him in like Ring of Combat. And all you heard is like he's just like this beastly wrestler, and it was true. Like, dude, like the second the dude hit the cage, you could tell it was just different. Just ridiculous athlete, ridiculous drive. Just so damn strong. Like he's not a proper lightweight. Like by like the standards of like 5-10 years ago, he's a lightweight. But like the dude's like featherweight size. Like build wise, he's still out here just manhandling dudes. I kind of hope they like get him a top 15 dude soon because like he's 31. He doesn't, and he's had some injuries. It's not like he's just out here, just without any like wear and tear. I think he tore his ACL or something like something crazy like that. Dude, this is around the time I fell asleep. So all I remember is Gillespie getting on top of of Pichel like a bunch of times and just like having his way with him.
I mean, that was pretty much fighting in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a relentless grapple fest. Like Pichel just couldn't really breathe. He never really had a moment to really show what he can do. Like he might land a shot on the feet here or there, but after you land the shot, you're right back on your back.
Right.
Like, and you're defending him either trying to pass your guard or he's beating you up or whatever he's doing because it's working. So, yeah, Greg Gillespie's definitely climbing the ladder. Yeah, I'll definitely like to see a step up in competition with him. If you're not gonna give him a top 15, give him that veteran test. Give him somebody who's still capable. Can't really think of a name like off the top of my head right now, but
Masaranduba, somebody,
anybody. I mean, I think the one thing with lightweight is there aren't a shortage of matchups or bodies. So,
I mean, yeah, it's a tough ass division to get ahead in.
Yeah, you look to the left, look to the right. There are people everywhere. So I'm pretty sure they won't have a problem trying to get him paired with somebody else who can maybe test him, see if somebody else can maybe put him in a bad spot or anything. But so far he's passing the test with flying colors. So shout out to Greg Gillespie, grappling people to death, getting it done with a submission choke. This next fight don't have a ton of input. Walt Harris and Daniel Spitz.
It was a lot of staring.
Daniel Spitz was doing like like the Eddie Gordo Capoeira stance from Tekken. He's kind of swaying side to side. Daniel Spitz did that for pretty much both rounds. It was a lot of him playing the outside, just kind of swaying side to side. Not a ton of action going on. I mean, at least Walt was trying to push the action. Like, he was at least throwing shots. Spitz I'm not really sure what his game plan was this fight. But all I remember is the finish. Spitz got cracked with a left hand straight to the jaw. He backed up because he definitely felt it. And then I think he caught a right hand, fell to the ground, ate some ground and pound, and that was it. Yeah.
Well, Harris was really tired for a man who had just thrown like 15 punches in like 10 minutes.
Oh man, heavyweight MMA.
I mean, you suffered through it to get to stuff like that, but I don't think that was worth it. Why was this fight so damn high up on the card? Besides the fact they're heavyweights.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was looking at some of these prelims, and I was like, there are at least 2 fights on there, maybe even more. I probably would have. But then I feel like I could say that about most heavyweight fights that don't involve like top 5 guys. Like,
yeah,
it is what it is. But nonetheless, Walt Harris got to finish. So, good on him. He at least ended it in emphatic fashion, and that kind of fight, I guess, is the best you can hope for. Speaking of ending fights, Ben Saunders, Jake Ellenberger. This was another fight I was kind of worried, like, why was this on the main card? I don't want to see these 2 old guys hurt each other. But Ben Saunders just being extra long and lanky for no reason. Not a ton happened in this fight. Like, Saunders was kind of playing the outside, using his range a lot with his kicks. Ellenberg, I think, managed to close the distance. He landed a good right hand, and then that right hand led into the clinch, which kind of led to his demise. They clinched for a while, had a little bit back and forth, but Saunders got that tie plum going and caught him with a very just pinpoint knee, straight to the body. Ellenberger dropped, ate some punches. Yeah, I don't even think he needed the punches. He was done after the knee. Like, he just turned away. Like, I think he knew it was over. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Shout out to Ben Saunders. Doing great clinch.
Gorgeous knee. Remember when Jake Ellenberger was the hardest puncher in the division?
Yeah, I think he's got to hang it up, man.
I mean, he won't.
He's on that list of fighters. People like him and like him and like Lozon, or for me on that list of like you guys have enough for the sport, man. You've had some really good performances. Like, I don't want to see y'all out here anymore. It's not even fun to watch anymore. It's almost like painful. Like, I'm glad Saunders ended it with a body shot and not him just like kicking his head off or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, this fight was like just in my mind, it was just a fight between 2 dudes who were just physically broken. Because like, I'm thinking back to that Joe Band fight for Saunders, where like everything looked like it was the worst strike to ever land on Ben Saunders. He just doesn't eat damage well anymore, and just like let Jake Ellenberger push him against the fence and then just beat the crap out of him there. As in, like, Sanders beats the crap out of him. Saunders beats the crap out of Ellenberger. Like, it just tells me, like, Ellenberger does not need to be licensed anymore.
Yeah, we gotta.
And like, he's been, like, we've been, like, I've seen people using excuses, like, he's fighting all these top guys. And, like, Ben Saunders hasn't been a top dude in a minute. So, no more excuses.
Yeah,
But let's be real. That Matt Brown win bought, like, Jake Ellenberger another decade of fighting.
Right. And it's like, sure, Ellenberger hits hard. Maybe he's one punch away from winning any fight. But, like, is it really worth the punishment that he's got to go through to possibly land that one punch? Like, do we really need to see this anymore?
I think he's just mad he never got his title shot.
I mean, I get it. I forgot what happened after he beat Jake Shields. Wasn't Shields was pretty high in the rankings? I feel like when that.
Yeah, I think that was the time when I could be wrong, but I just want to make one defense before I say another wrong thing. Like, he beat Shields. Alright, so he beat Shields in 2011. If memory serves right, that's the year GSP was just gone, right?
I thought GSP was he still around? It might have. I thought GSP was still there because I remember I remember people saying Ellenberger was gonna be the guy to take down GSP.
Yeah. No. So he fought Jake Shields in April 30th. And then he fought Condit November 2012. So that win was during a time when GSP was no longer there.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Then he lost to then he beat Diego. Then he lost to Campman. Then he got 2 wins over Nate Marquardt and Jay Heron. And then he just started this streak of just losing to top guys. Like, he lost to Rory Mack, he lost to Lawler, lost to Gastelum, beat Koscheck, lost to Wonderboy, lost to Tarek Safadine, beat Matt Brown.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that is a name that is forever gonna just make me feel some kind of way. Where is Tarek Safadine?
Probably in the cast somewhere.
that what? Oh my God, I don't even want. You know what? I'm not gonna talk. I don't want to go down that road. I expected so much more of him. It's just life isn't fair sometimes.
Safadine Jr. is coming up. He's out here kicking pillows and kicking couches and stuff.
I don't know. Yeah. But next fight, hope I pronounced it right. Is it Julio Arce or
Arce.
Arce and Daniel Tamor, brother of David Tamor. Yeah, Daniel kind of got beat up. What I remember in this fight, I don't remember thinking like Daniel's striking seemed so much more like compared to his brothers. Like, it looks really wild looking. Like, it looks, I don't know, but
He looks so much better when he fought Danny. Was it Danny Henry?
He just looked really, a lot of the punch, like technique wise, a lot of the punches look really loopy looking. Like, I don't know, it was weird. This is another fight I don't remember a ton in detail, to be honest. But I just remember, Julio was kind of piecing him up. Tamor was not really.
Tamor was landing with that leg kick because he had Julio Arce's leg just all types of purple. But like when it came to the hands, like he was only landing when Arce would like try to get out the way, or when he backed Arce to the cage and like Arce only had one route to exit. Yeah, he did not look like the dude who fought Danny Henry. Like the dude who fought Danny Henry was laying on his feet. Like he was explosive. he was really diverse with the combinations. Like this Danny Henry, like this one, just like he just kind of showed up. That's what it felt like no type of urgency. Like I don't know, thought he was like the shit, and just kind of put on a mad performance.
Yeah.
I'm a little more, I'm not gonna say forgiving, but like a little higher on his performance than you are. Like I thought like I said, he was doing work with the leg kicks. Maybe Arce's like weird southpaw boxing game just kind of well, not even weird, but like his southpaw boxing just threw him off. Like a boxing centric fighter, just like kind of just threw him for a loop a little bit. Especially one that can move like Arce. As for Arce, like I kind of worry about him. Like I think he's gonna be fine. He's got a fantastic like boxing fundamental game going, but like the dudes who are making noise right now at 145 are guys like Mirsad Bektik, Brian Ortega. Who else? Guys who have that extra something in the tank, like guys who can get out there and get finishes if they need to. And Arce got the finish here. I'm not gonna say he lucked into it because he definitely didn't. Like it was a great takedown, the back take deal he did when he caught the kick. But it just feels like there's not that extra bit of snap into what he does, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's nothing I look at his game and it's like, I don't know if there's another level here.
Because, like, yeah,
Right.
and, like, there are guys who don't have that extra bit of snap or like, pizzazz or what it factor that are doing pretty damn well for themselves. Like, Calvin Kattar. Like, he is a flashless kickboxer, and he's doing pretty damn well for himself. And Moicano, another dude, is I want to say as plain as it gets, but like you know what you're getting with Hanan Moicano, just really solid fundamentals. And he's making a name for himself. But like the guys who are in title talks and getting the big fights right now, they got that something. Right. And this could just be growing pains because Arce was at bantamweight for like the longest time before like his second or third fight prior to getting signed with the UFC. So like maybe he fills out a little bit and he's out here just tearing dudes up at 28 or whatever. But like I'm not trying to take away from like a really good performance. Because it was, well, he's 28 now, but like I'm not out here trying to take away from a pretty good performance, like especially one that stopped was a 5-fight decision streak. That was just god awful. Speaking of which, this Sam Alvey John Vellante fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say. From the Tamor fight down, this is when, and that's probably why I couldn't give Tamor more props, is because from this fight down is when my memory either fails me because I don't remember, or in the case of this fight that we're about to talk about, I just kind of don't want to remember what I watched. Yeah, I'll let you start this one off.
Vellante just standing there looking at Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey just standing there looking at Vellante. Like, I've watched more frustrating fights. I don't know what it's about this one, but it was just painful. It was painful to watch. You wanna know why? Because Sam Alvey now has a win over a top 15 light heavyweight. He is a ranked light heavyweight.
Yeah, I don't. I don't even know what else to say. Like, it's so wild watching. I can't remember what was Volante's last fight. I can't remember, but I just remember it was a fight where he definitely was like moving forward a lot, and it might not have been the best performance ever, but dudes were just like at least throwing. And it's like, how does Sam Alvey, a guy who definitely has like knockout power, how does he have fights like these? Like,
It's just power. It scares people off.
but like it scares people off. But even on his end, it's like, why aren't you doing more? Like it just.
Because this is all Sam Alvey is capable of.
Yeah,
Like these fights are boring by design. Because Sam Alvey likes to spring that power on people, so he has to lull them into a sense of security. But he's also not a really good athlete. He does not move very well. So they just need these long stretches where he's just like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Just any type of opening. You know, like sometimes he gets it and sometimes he doesn't.
you know what? We don't really need to expand on this fight. Sam Alvey won by split decision. I guess that's all you need to know. It is what it is, and like you said, Sam Alvey's a top 15 light heavyweight. 205 is doomed.
Shogun versus Alvey.
Yeah, let's do that. If Alvey slept Shogun, I think I would shut off my TV, and I can't watch the UFC for like another year until Sam Alvey completely drops out of the rankings and he's cut.
I mean, Sam Alvey's only in his 30s, I think. So he would have at least another 5 years as a top light heavyweight.
Oh boy. Well, that was the main card. So let's get on to some of these prelims, and this is where memory will fade from fight to fight. Sijara Eubanks and Lauren Murphy.
I don't remember this fight, like, at all.
Well,
I watched it.
I'm mad because I'm mad because I watched the fight twice, and like I remember being impressed with Eubanks. I just remember this being a pretty like back and forth stand up fight. It seemed like towards the like end of the third and end of the second and into the third, that they both were pretty tired. But like I like Eubanks' game. I'm not sure like exactly what her ceiling is. Like she seems pretty solid all around. She's kind of like one of those fighters. She doesn't do anything like great, but she does everything like just well enough that it's I kind of don't remember this fight in a ton of detail, but Banks got a unanimous decision over Lauren Murphy. Wish I could remember more, but I just remember it was a pretty solid performance. And then, like I said, towards the third, it seemed like both of them were throwing, but you could tell they were definitely pretty gassed out. But solid win from Eubanks nonetheless. This next fight, David Taymor and Nick Lentz. A few notable. I don't remember this fight all in much detail either, other than. Well, no, actually, no, I remember a little bit. I remember thinking like I thought Taymor did a really good job of kind of. I felt like he dictated a lot of this fight in terms of Nick Lentz was never able to really like establish much of anything. Like you could tell that he really wanted to get in close to try to get some takedowns, and he just really couldn't get many takedowns. I think he might have got one. I can't remember, but like Taymor just did a good job of keeping the fight where he wanted it. Clearly in the stand-up, we knew who was going to win that. So, Taymor got off a lot of kicks. I think he bloodied Lentz eye up. Taymor did have a moment, though, where he got off an eye gauge. And I think he had a fence grab. and the I don't remember who refereed this fight, but you can't just warn a fighter like 30 times, not dock a point, if you're, like want them to take seriously, because at that point it's like I'm just going to keep grabbing the fence because clearly you're not taking a point. You're just going to give me the stern dad talk, and, what's that worth if you're not taking any points away? But, yeah, I just remember Tamor just kind of battered Lentz up because Lentz just wasn't able to close that distance and get his game plan off. Like, Tamor was constantly on the move on the outside. Anytime Lentz went for a takedown, he got shrugged off, or Tamor just found a way out of it.
You forgot the part where he grabbed the cage.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't get how, like, the ref just gave him the stern dad warnings, and it's like, just take a point away, bro. Like, he clearly, the message is not, it's not.
Veteran savvy.
It's not, right. So, if don't skip the dad talks, man. Just take the point if you're gonna take the point. But Tamor, he did what he does. Yeah, he had a few questionable moves, but hey, man, the ref didn't stop him. So, what can you do?
Right. I vaguely remember this fight. I remember a lot of leg kicking and thinking like, Tamor, you can definitely do more. Why aren't you doing more? It's really weird. Like, this dude co-main events at pay-per-view, if I'm remembering right. Was it a Fox card?
Hell, the Fox card.
Let me see. This is gonna. David. It was a pay-per-view. It was 209. Oh wait, no.
Man.
Yeah. Woodley Thompson too.
Wow.
Yeah. He fought Lando Venata. But here he is, like, shoved away on the prelims on FS1 because they had to make room for Harrison Spitz and Ben Saunders and Ellenberger. But I guess it worked out in their favor because this fight was not fun, especially because there were two prior to it where you just kind of left you being like, you guys could have done more. But Tamor did a great job, just like never letting Lentz get into position to do anything like serious. Did a great job of raking freaking Lentz's eyes so that he could get away from the takedown at one point. Did a great job of just never staying in one spot. He has a little bit that Alexander Gustafsson, I'm going to run away thing going for him. Literally turn my back and just like run out. Might want to work on getting that smoothed out because this isn't 205. Dudes will come for your head if you're just turning around and running away. Shouts to Eve Edwards. Yeah, no, I'm done. I don't care about this fight. I don't care. I'm done. I'm tired.
Yeah. we are. Yeah. So just so you guys know, we normally record on Sundays. Sunday
I mean, that's not
morning.
an excuse because I'm tired then too. But it is a different tired.
Yeah, we're recording Saturday night. It's 11:20 p.m. So this is what we do for you guys. We'll try to get out of here though. Fooly Cooley comes on in about 40 minutes, so I want to watch that. So we'll power through this. But yeah, that was David Tamor and Nick Lentz. Next fight, Bilal Muhammad and Chance Rencounter. If I'm saying that right.
Chance Encounter.
Chance was a late replacement, correct?
Chance Black Eagle Rencounter.
That was an interesting nickname.
I
didn't pan out too well in this fight, though.
Did he throw a punch in this fight?
I mean, he threw. There was some. I remember my takeaway from this fight Yeah, I mean, it was pretty one-sided, as evidenced by the scorecards, 30-27, 30-27, 30-27, in favor of Muhammad. I mean, Chance got off some strikes, but it seemed like a lot of the time, like, when he would throw really hard, Bilal did a good job of just either slipping the punch or ducking under it or countering. So, like, Chance never really had, like, a definitive moment, like, in this entire fight. Like, he ate a lot of shots. The few times Bilal went for takedowns, it seemed like he was getting him down with ease. It was almost like he was doing it just to show that he could. I don't think he did a ton with the takedowns, but he didn't have to work too hard for him. Like, he would just clasp his hands behind him and just that was it. Like, he would just take him down. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most entertaining fight. He got off, some strikes on the feet. I want to say I think he bloodied up his eye. I can't remember. He caught a Chance with a lot of good shots though. Chance returned fire a few times, but wasn't really able to land much of substance because Bilal was, like I said, he was either slipping a punch, ducking under it, or maybe if he got caught, he would counter. But yeah, Bilal had a pretty one-sided 30-27 across the board decision over Chance. And I mean, shout out to Bilal. It's kind of crazy, for Ramadan was going on, and he didn't get to hydrate until, was it right before the fight, I think? Can't remember. I'd heard it. I can't remember though. But either way, like, solid performance from Bilal. Not anything too crazy, but he got a pretty one-sided win. Oh, you there?
Yep.
Oh.
I might have just blacked out for a second. Oh my god, this card is draining all of the energy from me. Like, oh my god, I don't even remember. What were we talking about? Muhammad versus Chance encounter?
Yeah.
God damn it! Like, the most entertaining thing about this fight was Chance encounter's freaking name. Like, it was even like, if this had been in the middle of a more entertaining like undercard, like, I probably wouldn't be like bringing up how just like meh it was, but like, it wasn't. It was in the middle of a meh undercard, and those are terrible. Like, you said Rank Counter threw some shots. I don't remember any offense. Like, I remember him backed up against the cage, standing tall as hell, like, trying to do the, like, the high guard, one knee in the air defense, because Bob was just walking him down and just, like, tagging him with these double jabs and stuff, and thinking, wow, Bilal Muhammad really tried. He probably could get this guy out here really quick.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he would, because Chance didn't seem like he had really much to. It was pretty evident after about a round and a half. It's like, all right, I don't think this guy really has much to offer you. Like, you can get him out of here. But
that's not what happened. Instead, Muhammad's like, I got to get these. I got all this joy had to be for something.
Yeah. So. Yeah, not much of a substance to really dig in with that fight. Other than Bilal just got a pretty one-sided.
I want to say it's Bilal's fourth win in a row.
I think so. Yeah. So he's probably due for a step up in comp. See if he can break into that next level.
Right.
And I mean, dude's pretty well-rounded. I would hope. I just would want to see from him more, like, of him just getting guys out of there. Like I said, in this fight, I felt like he could have, but he kind of coasted to a pretty one-sided decision. But I would like to see him just, if you can get a guy out of there, just send him on his way. We don't need to drag this out for 3 rounds. But that was that fight. Shout outs to Bilal Muhammad. Last fight, at least on this Fox Sports 1's prelims, Desmond Green, Gleison Tibau. I didn't think I would see Desmond Green just outbox Gleison Tibau for 3 rounds, but that's what we got. Desmond Green's boxing isn't like the prettiest thing to watch, but I guess my main takeaway from this fight, which I was happy, at least somewhat happy to see, because I felt like our criticisms of him has just been like he's a talented fighter. He has things working for him. He just doesn't tend to have a lot of output. Yeah, I felt like at least with this fight, like while it wasn't the best, it wasn't the prettiest thing to watch, like he was at least being a bit more active. He was going for it. He even had moments where he was throwing flurries. He dropped Tibau in the third. I felt like if he would have put his foot on the gas, he probably could have got him out of there.
That's
But
asking a lot.
like, he caught he caught Tibau pretty good on the chin and dropped him. I think he could have got him out of there. But I was just happy to see that at least he was a bit more active. And he outboxed Gleison Tibau, who pretty much invented fighting. Tibau's been alive for a good, like, 3 centuries. But Des Green got a unanimous decision. I don't know if you have anything else to add to to that fight. But, yeah, Tibau got out of here. Last two. Oh, this fight. Nathaniel Wood and Johnny Eduardo. This fight made me think of course the J.R. Smith memes are in like full bloom right now. And that iconic picture now of LeBron like yelling at him. And the one meme I kept seeing was it was a meme I saw that somebody did, and it was LeBron doing the yelling, and it was like when a fighter is doing good in the stand-up and then they go for a takedown. And that's kind of what this fight made me think of, because most of this match was a stand-up. I mean, they were both tagging each other, but Eduardo definitely had the better moments. I think he rocked. I'm pretty sure he rocked Wood at one point. Hit him with some nice body shots. He had him up against the fence. He bloodied his face up. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Wood was definitely firing back. He was landing some pretty good shots of his own. But it seemed like Eduardo was pretty comfortable in the stand-up. And then, out of nowhere, Eduardo shoots for a takedown. Doesn't get it. I think like he tried to pull half guard. And that ended in him getting Bravo choked. So, Nathaniel Wood got a choke out. I don't know. I thought that takedown was, I don't think he really needed to go for it. But he went for it. And he got choked out for his troubles. And Nathaniel Wood gutted out a pretty impressive win. But yeah, that was that fight. Still alive over there? Hello? I think my co-host died. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dojotalkpodcast. You probably just heard some fancy edit that I did. We had a death in the middle of the episode.
I just like to point out this is about the time I'd be asleep during the UFC card.
So we're gonna power through this last fight, and then get to questions, and then we'll get out of here. But last fight we'll mention Jose Shorty Torres, as we said at the top of the show.
Shorty.
Yeah, made his debut against Jared Brooks. This was a very wild fight. I mean, Brooks looked really good for majority of this fight.
So he didn't.
Yeah. This was a fight where he was winning until he was losing. He was doing a good job of getting in and out. He was catching Shorty with some pretty good shots. One of Shorty's flaws, and he even mentioned this during the interview, is that he doesn't, as much as he moves forward, he doesn't really use a ton of head movement. He's kind of willing to take one to give one. and he took a lot in this fight. I think he got dropped in the first, I want to say.
Yeah, he got caught with a spinning back fist.
Yeah. He caught some good ones in the first. He ate his licks, but
Oof.
it did seem like in the second he was still getting tagged a little bit, but to me it seemed like he was finding his footing a bit more, like he was starting to heat up as he typically does. If you've watched any of his other fights prior to him joining the UFC, he's kind of one of those dudes. But yeah, man, Shorty won his debut in one of the craziest ways you could win a debut. Jared Brooks tried to get real fancy, do one of those little wrestling finishing move slams, and in the course of him doing this slam, he knocked himself out.
Yeah.
he dropped a little bit hard to the canvas, bounced his own head against the ground, and Shorty Torres took advantage of a split second situation, while Jared Brooks was dazed from knocking himself out. Shorty pounced on him and got him out of there.
Yeah.
Won his debut.
Shout out to Torres, like in that post fight talking about like, yeah, we know that he likes to go for slams, like big powerful slams. So the idea was to go right over in the waist, get parallel. So when he would try and go back, he would just throw him off balance, and like I don't think they thought that he was going to land on his own head, but
Right.
the man landed on his own head trying to go backwards with it. Like, there's no way he didn't feel that Torres was just like climbing down his back. Like I don't get why he tried to do that.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even try to tuck his head or nothing. Like he was just like, if I fall back on my head on Torres's body, it won't hurt as much, I guess. I don't know.
I think he was thinking in his mind this slam would just look really cool. Like I think he was just trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Like and
Shouts to him tweeting out, you're lucky that I backed myself out. Which at that point, like anything you have to say is just like moot.
Yeah, null and void after that. Like,
Dude, you gotta laugh that shit off. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
right.
like, can we do it again? There's like going out there and saying 9 out of 10 times I win this fight, and that one time is just I'm knocking myself out. It's just like you have a 10% chance of knocking yourself out every time you fight. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was one of the more bizarre endings you'll ever see to a fight. But
Who's the last dude to knock himself out? Was it Gray Maynard?
I can't remember. And how many people have knocked themselves out from slams? I know it's happened before. Has it?
Gray. Or you
What
just
fight?
landed on his fucking head.
Oh yeah. That's a bad way to go out. That is. Yeah.
Because like you have to have no idea that's about to happen for you to go out.
Right.
But it's like your whole body weight.
And it's like, what do you even, like, when you go back to the corner, like, what does your coach even tell you? Like,
You just straight up, it's like you threw yourself in your own head.
boy, that is not something you want to go back when you're looking at film. That is, hey, couldn't be me. That's a rough one. But hey, man,
Imagine wrestling your whole life since you're like 5 years old, and then just knocking yourself out in an MMA fight like that.
And it's like, oh man, your family members, like, people were probably so hyped. You were doing so good during the fight, and like, you were just your own worst enemy. And
Yeah.
that's bad. But you know, congrats to Shorty Torres, man. I'm really, really, really glad he got his debut. No matter how crazy it was. You know, a win is a win. He took advantage of the situation, and hey, man, awareness is a real thing. So, congrats to him. Looking forward to see him again. Hopefully, he doesn't get himself put in that kind of situation in his next fight. But hey, man, yeah, congrats to Shorty Torres, awesome win. So that's UFC Fight Night 131. Before both of us die, we'll get some of these questions off, then we'll do parting shots, and then we will get on out of here. So we'll rapid fire these real quick. We got 4 questions. First coming from Stokes. Well, I think we got 4. I haven't refreshed because my computer's moving really slow.
This
But,
is 4.
Stokes asks, is Ye Kanye's worst album? I guess I have to ask first, did you listen to it?
No.
Alrighty. Alright, so I will take this question on because I did listen to it. I can't say it's his worst, but if it's not his worst, it's only like one step above what the worst would be. So I'm not sure what that I'm not sure what that really says. And the only reason I'm not gonna say it's his worst is because I remember how I felt after I listened to Yeezus, and I was literally mad. And I wasn't mad after I listened to this. I was just really indifferent. Like, it was a really somber album. Out of the 7 tracks, like 2 of them were okay. Like I like the track he did with Kid Cudi. I think it was Ghost Town. And Yikes was cool.
That's the one he did with the Ghost Town one or whatever is the one he did with 070 Shake or whatever.
Is that what it was? Well, Kid Cudi was on there. Yeah, I heard of the 070. Well, either way, like Ghost Town was cool. Yikes was okay. Everything else on that album for me was just kind of like, like I said, I didn't really feel strongly one way or another. But like, I'm probably not gonna ever go back and listen to it again. So
Right.
take that for what
I only brought her up because she's from like around here, like pretty close by actually.
Yeah, I've heard she's gotten a lot of attention since. I mean, and Ye's only been out for like a day or 2, so.
Well, like, she was like her come up was like she's friends with what's this girl's name? Yes Jules, who's like a Snapchat / radio / Instagram personality with like a huge following who just heard her music and wanted to be her manager. So like I don't even know if this 070 chick is like a rapper or a singer. Like she's not a good singer.
I don't remember enough of the details of the album to even tell you. I just know I like the Ghost Town track enough to make me curious to hear what a Kanye and Cudi album would sound like. But yeah, the rest of that album was just kind of, it was kind of one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
I might review that, but I don't know.
That's what happens when you go to Wyoming to record an album.
That album sounded like it was recorded in Wyoming. I'll say that much. It sounded like it was recorded in Wyoming. But to answer the question, I don't think it's his worst. Yeezus for me is still his worst album because I was literally mad after I listened to that. And I at least wasn't mad when I listened to this. So I was just kind of like, yeah. But, so yeah. Shout out to Stokes. Appreciate the question. And next 3 questions all come from Joey from Sports Sound Off. So the first question is, what's worse, Bellator's tape delay policy or the international events? Hold on, let me read this again. Bellator's tape policy for international events or the UFC's pacing?
It's not even a question.
I'm just, judging by what just happened.
Yeah.
I think the UFC's pacing probably takes this pretty handedly.
I mean, backstory for all of y'all. I work 9 to 5 every Saturday. So as soon as I get out of work, I drive myself home. Let this little punk out. This little dog over here. Like I try to, shovel whatever we have in the kitchen down my guzzle before I sit down and watch whatever the UFC is shitting out that night. So like I am really tired.
So, yeah, I think we both vote for UFC's pacing. But Bellator in 2018 has no excuse to be doing tape delays. You guys don't get a pass for that. It's terrible.
Right.
But but if I'm
they're
picking,
both awful.
Yeah, they're both awful. But if I'm picking the real evil, it's the pacing. It's out of control. The 6 fights, it has to stop.
What other sport demands so much of your time? We're like, hey, we're going to take 7 hours of one of the 2 days that a normal person has off during the week, and that's going to be when you're going to sit there and fucking watch our entire card, you piece of shit.
Yeah. We do it though.
Because this is a drug.
They get us every time for years on end. They've been pulling this stunt. But yeah, UFC's pacing definitely worse. Joey's next question.
What's your favorite Adrian Broner moment?
See, this is hard for me because I've seen Adrian Broner fights, and I know he's just a clown in general, but I don't pay him much attention like when he's not fighting. Like, I don't really watch his interviews. I don't even really watch his post fights except for that one, the last one he had. So I can't really answer this question. So I'm gonna say my favorite moments of him are just if he loses.
Yeah, mine's is the Maidana fight. Mine's is the Maidana fight where like Maidana has him in the corner with his back turned and Maidana just fucking humps him. Just cuss.
Yeah, Broner's he's that guy's a.
Oh wait! I just forgot. Another classic Broner moment was him threatening to murder Gervonta Davis via like Twitter DM, and then a year later they have a fight on the same card, and the whole damn card is promoted as they work together.
Oh boy. Yeah, Broner's a character. Sticking with the boxing theme. Joey's last question: if you had to sign with one boxing promoter, who would you sign? This is really hard for me because when I saw this question, I was actually trying to research this earlier, and I could not come up with an answer. Like, this is hard. I don't think there are a lot of good choices.
Yeah.
Because I can't sign with De La Hoya because I can't explain why, but I don't like De La Hoya like at all. And I don't know why I don't.
If you were Mexican, it would make sense because that's where De La Hoya's rub is. Like that's the sweet spot for him. But like we're not. So we can't I don't even know if he'd want us.
Yeah, I don't think we're making it that far. It's outside of De La Hoya, you got Arum and.
You got Arum, you got Schaefer, you got Eddie Hearn, you got what's the dude's name? The other Frank Warren, Joe Warren, something like that. The other UK dude. You got K2, Kathy Duva, who I wouldn't sign with it at all ever because fuck them. Because they let Sergey Kovalev just take a fight where he only got paid the pay-per-view because they thought it would be like a big deal. And then the pay-per-view ended up doing like $150,000 and he lost and he was out. Yeah. So he basically made like nothing.
You know what? Just because there's a part of me that just enjoys chaos and things that I know probably won't work out, I'm just gonna sign the zoo for boxing. I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm going to Zuffa. I'm going with Dana.
At least you'll be protected.
Yeah,
Because nobody will want to fight you.
So I'm going with Dana and Zuffa boxing because the first show is just bound to be, for better or worse, just it's gonna be a spectacle, and I'll be able to say I was a part of that for better or worse. Hopefully, I can get some kind of payday, at least for that one time. If we can con enough people for that one time, it'll be worth it.
Right.
It'll be worth it. So I'm going to Zuffa boxing.
I don't even know who the hell I would sign with. I don't even know. Who am I like I said, De La Hoya, dude's best when he's promoting like Mexican talent in the U.S. Who else? Like it before the Adrian Broner like contract negotiation, I probably said like Eddie Hearn because he got all this money, but like do wants like a 20 to 30% like promoter fee. Like, are you kidding me? On a $2 million, is it like a $2 million contract? Like, Broner makes that money on like Showtime, like purse sponsorships, like appearances and stuff like that. He makes that money. Like, he doesn't need Eddie Hearn to, like for like that small amount of money. So like, I'm just sitting here thinking like, what is my benefit? Like, you're taking like a quarter of my money before we even like get to the ring.
All right.
So like how do sponsorships work? How does like the split with the zone work? Like it's just like too murky for me. Like that really soured my thoughts on their deal. Fucking I guess if oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd sign with like a Heyman promoter, a line promoter, because he fuck it, like he might be only getting these dudes like 2 fights a year, but they're getting paid. Like
At the end of the day, that's all we need.
yeah, like Aram, like he has an ESPN deal, but like I don't know how much. Like personally, I don't know how much they're paid. Like their top rank is getting paid by ESPN. It's definitely not the $300 million that the UFC is getting. And like I'm not even sure. Well, like you'd probably get a TV fight with Aram. Like you'd get on ESPN, you'd get like a few eyeballs on you, but like I don't know what the payday would be like. Who else? Like Schaefer is trying to rebuild himself up from like the ground up, so like maybe wait on that one. Like you got the David Hay promoter who's out here signing like Michael from the Page. Yeah, no, I guess I'd have to go with like an Al Heyman promoter. I can't. I don't know any of these cats.
Oh, we could just start our own promotion.
I mean, there's always that. But I'll go fight for what's her face. I'll go fight for Oh my god, I'm going to kill myself. I remember her name. What was her name? Christy Martin. I go fight for Christy Martin, North Carolina or something.
There we go. So, Zuffa boxing, Christy Martin. One of us will be much more legit than the other.
It's a skeevy business, this boxing world.
But thank you guys for the questions. Appreciate it. So I guess we will end with parting shots and shout outs. I don't have any shots. Nobody got me angry, so at least if they did, I don't remember. I will give a shout out. This was also a card that happened, I want to say around the same time Bellator did, I think. LFA 40, which was headlined by Kevin Aguilar and Thon Lee, ended in very violent fashion. Aguilar put Lee to sleep. I can't remember the number, but I want to say he's defended his LFA belt a couple of times now. Getting some pretty decent competition. So, I think Aguilar could, they could give him that call. See what he can do if he comes to the UFC. Maybe he's a late replacement for somebody or, has to fill in. But shouts to Aguilar, though. It was a really brutal finish. And I think that was like LFA's 400th show or something like that. So he gave them a pretty good highlight reel for the 400th show. And last shout outs to Michael Bisping. As a fan of his, I'm glad he hung it up. I know there were rumors of the Machida fight swirling around. I didn't want to see that. that fight had potential to end in a not so good way for him, I think. But nah, man, he's always. I felt like I've spent a lot of my UFC fandom just having to defend him I think I'm in like that 2 percentile population of people that actually like him. So, but nah, man, he's been one of my favorite fighters for a long time. Win or lose, man, dude goes in there. He's always he's one of the toughest dudes I've ever seen fight. And it was crazy because I think I've mentioned this before. Like when he lost the Chael fight, that was the moment where I was like, man, I don't know if like he's ever gonna win a title now. Like as a fan, that fight like sucked the air out of me. I was like, I don't know if he's ever gonna make it. And he managed to, kept himself relevant. Eventually got on the streak. He won the fights he needed to. Seeing him knock out Luke Rockhold is a memory that I will never forget. I know people feel how they feel about his title run and his reign, whatever. I don't really care. He got the belt. That's all that mattered to me. Everything else after was a bonus. But yeah, man. Shout outs to Michael Bisping. One of the dudes from the Ultimate Fighter days, man, who stayed around for a long time, kept himself relevant for a long time in the sport. Finally made his way to the top after being denied so many times. So yeah, man, it's been awesome watching him fight over the years. I hope he gets that eye fix because I heard that was one of the factors of why he wanted to retire because his good eye was starting to go bad, and that's never good. So yeah, he said something like can't remember. He said it on his podcast. I can't remember what the exact story was, but he was like out at a club or something. He noticed like his good eye was starting to do some weird stuff. So he figured like it's not worth my health to keep coming back out and fighting when like I literally just might lose my eyesight. So, and I'm glad he did that because as somebody who's been wearing glasses my whole life, I know the eye struggle. You definitely don't want to lose. You definitely don't want to lose those, man. You gotta have some vision. Life is not fun if you can't see anything. So yeah, shout out to Michael Bisping. Hats off, man. Always all-time favorite fighter of mine. So big shout outs to him. Just glad to see he made it to the top before he finally decided to hang it up.
Right. So I'm gonna start off with a shot. Just fuck him. Andrea KGB Lee and her and her neo-Nazi fucking cop murder bastard boyfriend. So Andrea was posting about like watching the fights, I guess last night, and she took a picture with like her husband, and her husband has a pretty damn clear, like, what was it? Was it the Nazi SS? Like the little.
No, that was. Yeah, it was on like his right, like his
forearm.
Yeah, like forearm.
Yeah. So like people start doing a little bit of research about the dude, and like it turns out like he's a former cop who went to jail for murdering people for like 5 years. And like I'm open-minded. It maybe maybe he's repented, maybe whatever. No, he's still a douchebag. If you go on his like Facebook feed, like it's a whole bunch of just like racist shit. But Andrea Lee, and I'm not sure if she's just not very smart or if like she thinks we're not very smart. Her response was to get upset that people were upset, and like because somebody called her out on it, and then she claimed it was a prison tattoo that he wore sleeves over so that nobody would see it. And I don't know how that makes it better.
Right.
One, it is pretty damn obviously not a prison tattoo. Like, remember the dude who had, like, I have a small penis tattooed across his, like, stomach? That was an obvious prison tattoo. That was obviously done with like a heated up pen or whatever. Like a heated up pen tip or something. This was professional. This was part of a whole like sleeve and everything. So no. So, fuck them both.
Yeah, that one. And I like KGBZ. It was like, God, like why do you have to do this? Like just, yeah. It's even worse than like when you read the comments and people try to defend it and come up with 80,000 excuses, and it's like, bro, just stop,
Right.
Like, just call a spade, man.
Right. But who I will give a shout out to? The good people at the WNBA. Because I've been enjoying the shit out of WNBA League Pass. And I've been enjoying the season so far. Shouts to Tina Charles and like the New York Liberty who won today. When advanced to 2-2. You need to stop. They can hear you breathing. But she great. It's been fun. It's been like a first fun couple weeks of the season. I mean, if you're like looking for a basketball fix, now the first game of the playoffs is over at this point. Like by the time you're out here, it's probably the second game to be over too. Or I don't know. I don't even know when the hell it is. It's Monday, right? Or is it tomorrow?
No, we're Sunday now, technically.
Oh no! I meant the game.
Oh,
Game 2.
Game 2, the game 2's Sunday night.
Oh, it's later today. So like, if you're looking for a basketball fix, WNBA's got you covered. Go get League Pass. It's only like $17, and the only game you don't get is like the local team because they're probably playing on TV, and like the games are televised on ESPN too. So, good times.
I think they're supposed to start streaming games on Twitter this year too. I thought I heard.
Yeah. There have been a couple. I don't know like the Twitter streaming schedule though. Those are had a card streamed on Twitter.
They would have a card streamed on Twitter. I'm surprised they don't stream those NASCAR, whatever those cards are.
And expose their completely crap conditions.
Yeah, Twitter would have a nice field day. It'd be,
Why doesn't Bellator just go full freak show and have like a Carter Montana jumping like motorcycles over the ring?
I mean, we still got time left in the year. They'll figure something out.
I mean, if I had Viacom money, like that's something like they should have done on Spike, motocross and NBA.
Oh man. Wow. It's completely off topic. Why was Eric Prindle at the bare knuckle fights? Why did he have a fight?
Man needs to eat.
Jesus Christ.
Where's Eric Prindle from? Is he from Wyoming?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You think Stokes texted us this earlier, but it actually has me genuinely curious. Do you think the bare knuckle people like reached out to Kanye or were like, you want to come watch some people fight? Like,
somebody had to, because it's such a known fact that he was in Wyoming. Somebody had to extend the invite.
Like, there's a whole bunch of people there now, just like waiting for their flights back.
Right.
I would have been like just outside the listening party, just like handing out invitations and shit. Because these are all people with like thousands and thousands of Instagram and Twitter followers. Like, you get a little bit of a spotlight.
Yeah. Boy, bare knuckle. MMA is taking us some crazy places. I think Eric Prindle was there. I saw Eric Prindle's name today. If he wasn't on the bare knuckle, he fought at some card today. He was. I don't know he was still around.
He fought in like prison. Like, you never know. Eric Prindle looks like the type of dude who would go to jail.
Oh boy, Joey Beltran was out there bare knuckling it.
Joey Beltran in his prime would have been a fantastic bare knuckle boxer.
Oh man. Oh no. Are you done? I do have a shot actually. Unless you have any more shout outs.
Shots at the Sandman. I don't want no dreams, man. Just let me live.
I had to throw a shot at the Philadelphia 76ers owner, Brian Colangelo. We gotta chill out with these burner accounts, man. These
No, we need to take it further.
like how are people still getting caught up in these in 2018, man? Y'all didn't learn from KD when he got caught with the burner Twitter account.
Well, nothing happened to KD except people make fun of him, but people are already doing that.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
But like Colangelo, man, like come on. Like, I mean, the details are still kind of murky, but like allegedly, like his wife is in on it.
He just probably used his wife's email.
He's like using the burner account to like diss his own players. It's like, come on. Like,
He Jaleel Okafor's fucking like medical exam results.
like, I don't get it, man. Like, I don't know, man. That stuff like that, I don't understand.
Like, bro, you're a multi-millionaire. You're starting to like burner Twitter accounts to argue with people because they made fun of your tie.
Right?
Like, come on.
Like, some, I don't know.
Why do you need 5 of them?
Right? Like, you didn't even just have one. You had multiple burner accounts.
Just get you a 76ers troll at 76ers troller, whatever. And you can tweet out Philadelphia journals all you want.
Yeah. That story was... Sports is weird. There's some weird people. Just, I don't know.
Lots of insecure people.
All over the place. Just all over the place. Like, you guys y'all gotta stay off of Twitter, man. Like, some of y'all just, it's not for you. Like, I get it, it's the thing now, everybody has to have a brand, quote unquote, and you gotta put yourself out there, but some of y'all, you don't need it, man. Just stay away. It's not for you.
Shouts to Joe Embiid, who was just making jokes about it and liking all the freaking all the burner account tweets about him.
He seems like he's a guy. He'll take it all in stride. I feel like he can dish it too. He can take it and he can dish it. So, but yeah, man, burner accounts in 2018, man. We gotta cut that out. That's gotta go. But yeah, man. that's pretty much been episode for today. Yeah, it's been a long one. Been an interesting one. But is there a card next week? Or this week?
This is the UFC 225. Oh, this is me putting the bat signal up in the air. Stokes and Joey. Next week.
Oh yeah.
Good pay-per-view. Pay-per-view season.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big one.
Is-
Actually, I think I'm going to a fight party for this.
All right. I should probably I'll save it for after we're done.
But yeah, so you guys, if you're listening, you should be listening. Be ready. Be ready next week. But yeah, man, it's been another episode of the Dojo Talk Podcast. As always, you can catch us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate, subscribe, and leave a review. Also, you can listen to us on Google Play. Hit us up on Facebook at the Dojo Talk Facebook page, and you can hit me up on Twitter at Serial Sensei. That is all for tonight. Thank you guys for listening, and until next time, we will catch you guys later.